Yeah, it's a selection process. You know, it's not everybody, so just about everybody in here was selected in their family. Just about everybody was selected. If you track your own family, you were selected to bring in some new stuff, and try some new things. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I think this is a real good discussion because, you know, very rarely when I'm, you know, in a child's home and I'm talking to the parent, I would probably say maybe 90% of the time, if not more, you know, the parent can give me a whole laundry list of behaviors and issues with the child, but nowhere in that do they include themselves, because a lot of times I'll now say it in my mind, I'll be saying to myself, well, how did you contribute to this? That's what I be wanting to say, you know what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's some behavior or psychological issues that children have that may be totally isolated and may not have no contingency on the family dynamics, and I understand that too. But I'm a parent, you know, so I understand that most behaviors, or a big majority of child behaviors and personalities and things, and then a lot of stuff is learned behavior, you know. So, so a lot of times, you know, parents very rarely, if at all, will include themselves or include their past experiences and take some type of ownership as to how their past experiences, whatever the child was exposed to among them under their parenting, has resulted or contributed to, you know, what's going on. And that's why when I see clients, a lot of times, or as often as possible, I make it a point to just do like house sit-ins, you know, because a lot of parents just expect for me to call and beat the horn. I'm outside, send them on out. And a lot of times, yeah, that's how it goes, but sometimes I make it a point to park the car, go inside the house, and what are you guys going to go and do today? We aren't going anywhere. Today I'm going to sit in, and, you know, we're going to sit down, and so I can become updated on what's happening. Because if all I ever do is just beat the horn and tell you to send them outside, then I'm not getting any information, because I'm only coming here once in a week or however. So when I leave today, you're not going to see me for another 6 or 7 days. So it's a lot that can happen in that time period, and if all I do is just wait for you to send them outside, I'm not getting anything that may have transpired within, you know, from the last visit or whatever, you know, everything that's on the child's treatment plan. I'm not seeing any of that, because a lot of times when I have the child with me, some of that stuff I don't see.
Well, see, Matt, I think what you're doing is you're highlighting. Thank you. You're highlighting a critical point, and that's really why I wanted to do this. You know, really, because I don't want to assume, and I don't want to take for granted that we know what's going on, and that our counselors know what's going on. Matt, you're very highly skilled, experienced, and uber professional mental health provider. And so you understand these dynamics. You know, I don't want to assume that everybody understands what you just articulated, which at the core of what you're saying, for me, is really about what's happening with our caretakers. And we should be concerned about what's happening with them. And we should be just as committed to serving them as we are the children. Because we recognize and understand that they're a critical part of the well-being and health of this family. And if I cannot have access to this caretaker, there's going to be limits on what I can do with the children. And gaining that access for the purposes of teaching, influencing, and guiding is important, but it becomes very difficult when ultimately what we're trying to do is help you resolve that pain. In fact, that's why parents don't want to go into all that. Dig up too much stuff. And if I start telling you how I really feel, we don't have the time to get through this. I don't have the time. I'm busy surviving. And this stuff goes back 4 generations. Man, what happened to my great-great-grandmother happened to my great-grandmother, happened to my grandmother, happened to my mother, happened to me. And it recently happened to my daughter. I couldn't stop it. So I wasn't strong enough. You want me to tell you how I feel about that? You want me to talk to my children about that? No, that's the elephant in the room. We don't touch that. Yeah, we learned a long time ago in this family to leave that alone. You want me to give an I message? We've been taught not to touch that. And you coming in here, Matt, you talking about you want to talk to me first? Man, I need a break from him. You can help me by taking him. Yeah, that's how you help me. Take him. That's why I signed the consent form. Take him. So we may take him. Taking him may keep mom out of the hospital. You know, we understand there's layers to it. We may have to take him for the first 3 months and be restricted to the porch and seize every opportunity that we see mom's face just to say, hi, how you doing, Miss Barbara? How you doing? Everything okay? Yeah. What time you coming next week? But all it takes is for the little boy to just start saying, I love Mr. Matt, Mom. I love Mr. Matt. One day you might show up and be like, yeah, Mr. Matt, he told me he really loved you. You told him that? Yeah, I don't know what you're doing with him. He can't wait till you come back. You've been endeared to mom because our son loves you. And you just gained a greater life. That's the most conversation you had with mom in 2 months. And she initiated it. And so now you use that as an opportunity to, you know, just continue. But kind of went off track, but not off track at all. You know, these I messages are about the parent and the caretaker being able to, learning how to share their feelings with their children and modeling for their children. One, that's important. 2, this is how you do that. Because what we're talking about, the parent doing here, isn't this what we're trying to teach the children to do? Instead of letting them come out by tearing the bulletin board down or kicking somebody or throwing something, wouldn't we prefer that the children develop